It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
And welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Breakfast as we talk it up right across Australia every day of the week, which means that there is a lot of real estate news, trends, information, predictions, you name it, it is there. Just hunt around on our library. As you know, we're over 1,000 episodes. Well, we've landed today into another weekend. It is a Saturday, September the 21st. If you are chasing down real estate today, good luck with that. And the experts, now they agree that median and high density housing developments in established suburbs is absolutely essential for addressing Australia's housing crisis. But despite this, resistance is coming from existing homeowners remaining fierce. Now, let me explain. Increased median density housing in areas with good infrastructure is seen as a key solution. However, NIMBYism, and if you don't know what that is not in my backyard, has stalled plenty of projects across Australia, particularly in wealthy areas. Of course, many of us will say, well, that's no surprise. Developers, of course, they're now grappling with balancing the need for affordable housing with the growing opposition from these local communities. And we'll talk more about this with our next guest in just a moment. Don't forget, you can join in on the conversation if you'd like to have your say. Email us. Our email address is myrealestatepodcast@gmail.com because we love getting your thoughts and your ideas. Right, let's welcome in on our Saturday morning real estate breakfast, Mathew Tiller, who is LJ Hooker's Head of Research. And a very good morning to you, Mathew. I understand you've been there for over 10 years.
Yeah, good morning, Craig. Thanks for having me. Yes, it's been a while here at LJ Hooker.
And also recently returned back from the UK. That would have burnt a bit of a hole in your pocket with the exchange rate.
Yeah, absolutely. Exchange rate's terrible at the moment. And like everywhere else in the world, England is very expensive at the moment. Some things are a little cheaper, but a lot of things are a lot dearer at the moment. So yeah, it's a once every couple of years or every 5-year type of trip.
Wow. So if you're going back quite regularly, you got some family there, have you?
Yeah, that's right. My in-laws up in Liverpool, down in Cornwall as well. So a couple of great parts of the country to visit, actually.
Now, I know that one of the things that you talk about, you were quite impressed about the efficiency in the UK, particularly, almost 70 million people and managing to maintain green spaces, woodlands area and recreational areas, in contrast to Australia's focused on detached homes or high-rise apartments. Most UK homes are semi-attached or terrace. So tell us a little bit about that, because obviously you've seen that over an extended period of time with your travel.
Yeah, I mean, as a property enthusiast, wherever I travel in the world, it's always interesting to see where people live and how they live in the homes that they live in, given that we're having this whole density debate, not just in Sydney, where I am, but right across the country, and about how and where we're going to live and what homes we're building. Because over in the UK, I mean, there's about 69 million people, and apparently the UK fits inside Australia about 60 times. They've got less space, but more houses and more people. One thing I really noticed was that they're not all housed in high-density, high-rise towers. The majority is terrace houses, attached houses, and so they live quite close together. But there's no real sprawl, and they really value ensuring that there is green space, there's parks around, there's really good transport in and out of the local towns and cities with things like park and ride. So I just found it really interesting, the housing stock that they do have over there.
And you can look at things as simple as no front yard fences, which kind of makes people interact a little bit more, fostering a community interaction.
Yeah, correct. I mean, my mother-in-law lives in Liverpool, and the street she lives in has about 10 dwellings in a cul-de-sac. But each dwelling, obviously, over there, it's attached. So they have 2 homes to a dwelling, where in Sydney, we would have, that would be only 10 households. It's 20 households in there, no front yard. The kids are out in the front playing together because there's no fences, really. It's really a very communal vibe over there.
And did the mother-in-law talk a little bit about the utilities bill during winter? Because it's kind of foreign for Australians, but people save throughout the year for the winter because the energy bills are just so expensive.
Yeah, correct. The energy and heating that's required over there, it is expensive. But again, one of the things that they do well over there that we don't do here is the energy efficiencies of their houses. Double glazed windows, good insulation, all that is packed into not just new homes, but her house has been in her family for almost 90 years now. So her house is pretty energy efficient when it comes to those kind of items.
And a lot of people moving out of the UK going to Dubai from one extreme to another.
Yeah, they do love the sun over there in the UK. So when they get a chance to holiday, they love to go somewhere hot.
For sure. And we are talking with Mathew from LJ Hooker. We'll come back after this and talk more about the property market.
Unlock the secrets of real estate and stay informed about the latest real estate buzz with hot market trends, emerging suburbs, and hidden gems.
Last year, we were told to expect them early this year. Then it was pushed out to later. Then it was pushed out to later again. And I think it's a little bit of a risk deciding that now is the time to buy because we're going to cut rates.
Yeah, I think when you read just the fact that 4 cuts in the next 12 months, I mean, it just seems like night and day compared to where we are, and one shock globally, and that changes everything.
Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? Many, many years ago, making predictions like this was a lot easier because we weren't such a connected global world. We're so connected now that when there is a share market crash one day, it's literally corrected by the next day or two, whereas 50 years ago, a stock market crash would take a year to recover because we didn't have that connectivity that we have now.
Why blow your advertising budget on ads people ignore? Connect your business to our niche real estate audience. It's a targeted way to reach the right people. We have over 1,000 episodes on real estate, the largest property podcast library in Australia. Our email address is myrealestatepodcast@gmail.com.
And it is a real estate Saturday, another weekend around Australia. We are talking property with Mathew this morning from LJ Hooker. Mathew, what are you seeing in terms of these strong clearance rates? The spring property market for 2024, is it behaving any differently this year, do you think, given the increase in the property listings?
Yeah, well, Craig, we're about 21 days into spring now, and we're seeing really good, solid activity right across the country from a real estate perspective. We've seen homeowners asking for appraisals from our network. So appraisals across the LJ Hooker network are up about 15% month on month. We've seen listings rise about 8% right across the country, and auction clearance rates, they're sort of averaging around 65%, over the past 4 to 5 weeks. So there's really good activity from a listing point of view and a buyer point of view as well.
Well, that's a good sign, I guess, 21 days into spring. And what about the downsizing? I guess people sort of are wanting to ease up some of the financial pressure, and as a result, they decide, well, let's just go a little bit smaller, save on some of that mortgage money.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's been quite resilient, I would say, from a homeowner's point of view. With high interest rates, we haven't seen a real rush of listing or distressed selling over the past, 12 months when interest rates have increased. They're taking the time to really evaluate their position at the moment in terms of a household budget point of view. And some of those people are taking advantage of the strong price growth and the equity that they've built up in their home over that period and just deciding it's a good time now, start of spring, we're going to sell down, reduce the mortgage bill, sell a house now, take the equity and purchase a more affordable property. So that's one of the themes that we're seeing currently at the moment play out across the country.
Now, as I mentioned, you're from LJ Hooker, you're the head of research. So if you kind of look back over the 2024 year, what are a couple of things that really have sort of stood out for you there at LJ Hookers that perhaps isn't necessarily prevalent in other people's minds and attitudes? Is there anything that sort of pops into your mind?
Also, that kind of the diversity of strength across the country that we've seen from markets with, Perth being extremely strong, with prices over there rising by more than 20%, over the past 12 months, while a place like Melbourne, which normally outperforms, has sort of gone backwards a little bit. So that kind of diversity in the market. And also the diversity in terms of the price points that people are looking for. So the real activity has come from investors and first home buyers, which is surprising with interest rates so high. So that's really driven the affordable end of the market. The lower end of the market, the lower 25% of market or lower quartile, has really outperformed the top end of the market.
And a little bit of a projection forward into, let's say, the first quarter of 2025. Can't believe we're talking about 2025 already, but there you go. You might have a few ideas on what we might be looking at in the first quarter. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think for the remainder of this year, we will see pretty consistent buyer demand. Listings will rise as we move further into spring and peak probably somewhere the beginning of November. And that will see prices sort of continue to moderate over the remainder of the year. And then I think the beginning of next year, I think that's when we will see confidence return back into the market from a buyer point of view, because that's when we're expecting the RBA to cut interest rates. So once those interest rates start to fall, that will give buyers a bit more borrowing capacity, free up a bit more room in the household budgets, and that buyer demand will start to rise again. So I think we'll have a really good, solid start to 2025.
Okay, well, let's keep the fingers crossed. And just before we go, anybody you want to give a shout out to, perhaps the in-laws in the UK that might be listening?
Well, I have to put them onto your podcast. I'll send it over to them. Maybe wrap it up as a Christmas present.
What's the in-law mother's name?
Christine.
Christine. All right. We've got the breakdown on you, Christine. So thank you for that, Matthew, and breaking down the market as you see it from LJ Hooker. And enjoy your weekend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Craig. Great to speak to you today.
Each week, we bring you in-depth real estate discussions, including inspiring stories from homeowners, knowledgeable real estate professionals and economists. Whether you're a buyer, seller, or just a real estate enthusiast, we are your ultimate property podcast. We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.